doing sit-ups. I've been doing chin-ups. I've been doing pull-ups. I threw up once, but I'm okay now.
Hey, welcome into a Wednesday edition of the Ysn Power Hour, powered by Toyota of Warren. DJ here, Scotty there, and Richie live from Canfield, Ohio. What's going on, boys?
Oh, I'm stoked, man. I'm ready to go today. My new YSN hat you gave me last week.
And you got a blue coat on too.
Because somebody stole my other one.
No names mentioned. No names. So out of all the coats that you wear a blue coat, Scotty. You know what that is?
What's that?
The blue coats.
The blue coats.
You don't know what it is. I'll have to explain it to you off the air.
I'm trying to. I'm not sure.
Okay, I'll tell you off the air.
Okay, cool.
I didn't pick it up till just now that you were wearing a blue coat.
Yeah.
It was a little chilly in here, so I'll take half the blame. How about that?
Okay, cool.
What, you got a jersey on underneath that? Who is it?
It's just a cut. It says because my dad would call me Scotty Dog because we call him Big Dog.
Yeah.
So it just says Scotty Dog on the back with my favorite number.
88?
I do really like 88, but it's not my favorite. My favorite number is 44 because when I was in high school, I loved, I did a lot of research and watched a lot of like documentaries and stuff on Pistol Pete.
I knew it.
Yeah. And that just kind of became my favorite number because that was his number.
What's your favorite number, Rich?
9.
I knew it.
It was 9 for a long time.
Number 9.
Why do you like 9?
Well, I was 9 since I was a kid. So, I mean, that was kind of a number that I just wore. Single digit, which was obviously somebody who wore a very small jersey at the time. So I took 9 and I kind of adopted it. And then one of my good friends who played baseball with us at Canfield, he wanted 9 really bad because he also wore 9 in football. So I gave him 9, and then I took 12 because of Francisco Lindor. So that was my junior and senior year of high school. I wore 12, but 9's still my favorite number. Josh, his number's 9, so it's kind of like a family thing.
That's awesome. I love it. And that just shows the kind of guy you are, Rich, is to give up your number because somebody else wants it.
I wasn't going to play with him though.
Is he a big fella?
No, he's a wide receiver, cornerback, but yeah, I mean, I was going to give it up either way because he really wanted it. I was like, at the time I was in love with Francisco Lindor, kind of had like a little man crush on him in high school. So I was like, yeah, I'll take 12.
Is that one of those times where you're like, who's got 12? And then 12 was open and you're like, I'm taking 12.
Yep. I'm taking 12. Now, Brock Lowry said I'm taking 12. I'd be like, go ahead.
All yours there,
I'm
Mr. Dozen.
Third number.
My goodness. Kristen says Pistol Pete is one of her absolute favorite players too. No shock to you, Scotty.
No shock to me whatsoever.
It's time to get on this day in sports history. We got a decent one coming up. What do you say we hit it, boys? Let's go. All right, on this day in sports history, in 1985, the 51st Heisman Trophy Award is presented to the Bo Jackson of Auburn, the running back who did double duty, played in the NFL, played in the major leagues. I think one of the best ones to ever do it, the dual sport athlete. What say you, Mr. Giuliano?
I think it's so rare now to find a dual sport athlete. Even one of the best basketball players of all time, Michael Jordan, had a difficult time playing baseball, and that's in the minor leagues. So imagine if he played in the majors. Like, it's just a different level. I don't think people realize that. Like, yeah, you could be such a great athlete on the gridiron and on the football field. Then you come over and you're facing guys that throw 95 miles an hour, have benders and sliders. And a lot of people don't realize that. I think baseball is the hardest sport to play because of that. Because, football, you could work hard in the weight room. You, of course, have to be an athlete and agile and physical. But, baseball, there's so many factors to it. Like, now these pitchers are just so advanced. Like, it's hard enough to hit a fastball coming at your eyes at 95. But now they're dropping in curveballs from top to bottom. Their sliders are unbelievable. Even their changeups are dropping at an unbelievable rate right now. So I think, baseball and football are two of the hardest sports to play, and you're never going to see another athlete play both.
We had two of them in the same era, says Siggy, Bo and Dion. And right now, yours truly is on the primetime train express.
Oh, I'm loving it. I hope Colorado wins every game next year. Just the way he came into that meeting and just like set everything up and was telling the kids, if you don't like what I'm about to bring, leave. Like, there was no option. Like, he's like, I'm coming. He kept saying, I'm coming. And he is, because he's bringing guys from all over the country to come play for him. Of course, his kid's going to be the quarterback. He's not bad. He's bringing in some more from Jackson State. And then I was looking at like 247 because they do all the recruiting. And with their like 3 and 4 stars and their prospects, there was a kid, 5-star, committed to Iowa, #1 tackle in the country, got an offer from Colorado. So you're going to see some of those guys that have been committed to Ohio State, Wisconsin, Iowa for a long time that might reconsider if they get an offer. Robinson from Fitz just got an offer from Deion Sanders as well.
Let's go.
Yeah, I saw that.
I will be the first one to sign up for a B-Rob Colorado uniform. Like, yep. I'm all in. I'll get the helmet. I'll get the pads on it. Like, I'll rock it, because I think we're gonna talk about this, Richie. These OHSAA, all Ohio teams, I went nuts on it yesterday. Today, I knew it was going to be even worse. I knew it was going to be awful. B-Rob, what, third team?
Third team. Here, let's see.
I mean, there's a direct disrespect.
He was, a third teamer. And then we had one. Fitzgerald was the only first teamer from Fitch, and he was on the offensive line. And you know what? Austintown did get a lot of guys. They got 6. Ursuline and Canfield combined had 14 guys on their team. But when you look at it, a lot of them are honorable mentions. Canfield had 4 out of their 7 honorable mention. Ursuline had 3 out of their 8 honorable mention. Louisville had 1 honorable mention, and then Cheney had 1 as well. So,
I mean, I'm not going to take anything away from honorable mention, but our guys who played well, not only during the season, but into the offseason or into the postseason, played extremely well. Why is it just because it's Northeast Ohio? Is that what it is?
I don't know if I agree with when they vote. I think the voting should end at the end of the season.
Yeah. Who cares if it comes out in 3 weeks?
Yeah. Or even like a week. I think they could get it together in a week.
Well, I think we all know that's probably stretching it.
Yeah. But I don't know what day they vote on it. I think it has to be somewhere at the end of the regular season.
I was told this has been weeks ago, like probably months ago. So you look at this and you go, wait a minute. Like, why are we turning this stuff in? And Rich, I did find out you put it in the presser, right? Our press release about who votes on this. And I searched them, and we're going to become members. And
that's why I put it in there, because like people are gonna like comment on our page and be like, well, why is so and so a third teamer when he's the best? I'm like, we have nothing to do with this. That's why I put that at the top, first sentence. So if anybody wants to complain to us, we're on the same boat as you are. Like,
clean and clear.
Yeah.
But I did talk about it yesterday. I don't know if you caught the show at all.
Yeah, I did.
I think the way that we do it, and not I'm patting ourselves on the back, but we thought about this before we started putting this together, the all YSN teams. the more wins you have, the more players you should have represented on your team. Agree? Disagree?
No, I agree with that. And what kills a lot of these teams is they might have a 2-loss, 3-loss regular season. And if these voters are voting at that time, you're only going to get so many people on your team. But if they look at the postseason, like the runs that South Range and Canfield had, I think it's kind of disrespectful to have, some of these guys as honorable mention when they were the best linebackers, cornerbacks, safeties in the state.
Well, if you're going to vote that early, then release it earlier than the week or the week after, I guess, championship Friday and Saturday.
If they released it week 11, I'd be like, all right, this kind of makes sense. But now that it's at the championship week and South Range is 16-0, Canfield's 1-loss team and a state champion, it's just like, I don't understand how they put this together. And I don't even know if they watched some of these teams.
Well, and I went off on it yesterday. There's a young man, South Range, Chris Colucci, okay? And you can do your own details on this. He's not on the team as of right now. But if you go and look at Division 5, third-team defense, there's a young man named Carson Colucci from Fairless that is listed. He's listed twice on that list. Nobody else is listed twice. I think the OHSAA screwed up. I think Chris Colucci is supposed to be on that team because Carson Colucci is a quarterback, and he's listed at 6'2", 165 pounds. I don't know that I've ever seen a 6'2", 165-pound kid be on the all-state line on defense. I mean, that would be a pretty special human being.
I don't know if I've ever seen a quarterback be a defensive lineman.
I'm with you. I'm not sure he plays defense at all. I've been trying to look at it because usually you list your offensive position, your defensive position on Max Preps. It's not listed, just quarterback. And you can go through his highlights. Good quarterback, really good quarterback. I think the OHSAA got it wrong. So we've got an email in to Tim Street. Hopefully this gets overturned because I'm sure it slips through our fingers because we don't always, see everybody. We see our kids. If our kids are getting slighted and they're, if you're Chris Colucci, and I know he doesn't care about it. I've already talked to him. Doesn't care. Doesn't bother him at all. He's happy for his teammates. He's happy for the people in the region. But why isn't he getting the love? It's got to be fixed. This is something that you get to show your kids one day. You were all state, third team, whatever. Doesn't matter, honorable mention. But the OHSAA has got to get it right. It's pure and simple. If you made a mistake, correct it. That's it. And it's not that they're not, but I'd like to see them do it a little faster than they're doing it right now because, right now on every single media outlet, it's not him. It's Carson Colucci. No relation, as I understand it, by the way. So, I don't know, man. They got to get their act together. Kristen, it probably is a mistake. That's what we're alluding to. Oh, boy.
Yeah, I was going to say, here we go.
Go ahead. Read this one out, Rich.
All right. I'm battling a cold a little bit. I'll try and get through this one. In 1985, among the Heisman Trophy finalists besides Bo Jackson were Chuck Long of Iowa, Robbie Bosco of BYU, Lorenzo White of Michigan State, and future Heisman Trophy winner from Miami, 1986, and an NFL quarterback, Vinny Testaverde. Scooter. I don't know why he calls you Scooter.
Because I do.
Yeah, he just took that from DJ.
You can't take that. Did you know that Testaverde during his NFL years was a Cleveland Browns quarterback from 93 to 95? Did you know that?
I did know that, although I don't remember a single game from that era because I was probably still in diapers.
Yeah, I wasn't even born yet, so.
Radar, while you're out there, got a little I got a message saying that you were going to narrate the South Range Football Division 5 championship season that was in 2022. I'd like to know how you're going to do that. I'm trying to figure out how you're going to do that.
Radar, you gotta stay in your lane, bud. You gotta work your way up, pal. It's about being a team player, buddy. You can't just jump to CEO.
My guys turn around satellites and making sure that the South Range D5 state championship DVD radars all over it. Scotty, what are we talking about today?
Well, there was something I've been thinking about a lot, and it was compelling to me. I wanted to get your guys' take on it. I do want to, because I didn't get to talk about the two champions with you, the state football champions in Canfield and South Range. So I know it's Wednesday, so I only wanted to touch briefly on that. But first, everybody's ecstatic over what they did. Warren JFK came up short, but still a tremendous season. But I wanted to know, for you guys, if you, as a fun hypothetical here, if you could go back to your high school days, any sport you played in, what individual milestone, you could only pick one, what individual milestone would you want more than anything? And then the other question, this is a two-parter, the other one for you guys, what's been the most impressive feat by an individual in your time here at YSN?
Ooh, a little double dagger. Richie, you want to take it first, or?
Most impressive, Drew DeShields back-to-back years, first team All-State quarterback. For me personally, I think team captain. I think that would mean a lot. I don't really care about All-State and all that. I just think team captain would be, something I'd be able to hang my hat on and be proud of, because our team was, full of a bunch of athletes. We were really good. Back-to-back regional appearances in 2017 and 2018. So to be a captain for that team, I think would mean a lot to me personally. And, if there was one award I would want individually, that would be it. And then kind of building on the Drew DeShields thing, I think it's hard once to get on first team All-State as a quarterback, but for him to do it back-to-back years and now go from, a smaller school of Eastern Illinois, which is FCS, to, a big-time school in Kent State, shows you a lot about how good he really was. And, there have been a lot of quarterbacks around this area that have been blessed with talent and great high football IQ. But, Drew DeShields, when I watch him play, it's just a different type of player, a guy that just will do anything to win the football game, whether he has to run, whether he has to throw, play defense, whatever he needs to do to help out this team, he's going to do. So I think that's been one of the most impressive things during our time at YSN, for him to, see him grow and now be a two-time first-team All-State quarterback. It's going to be very rare and very difficult for somebody else to do under our YSN banner.
I'm going to go with Nick Plant in a national championship in running events. State championships, we've seen them, and it doesn't take any of the shine or the sparkle away from them. But to win a national championship and be on that stage and represent this area on a much bigger scale is impressive to me, just incredibly impressive to me. And the other thing is I know that we've driven the point into the ground with Canfield and South Range, but to watch these two coaches, Dan Yeagley, Mike Pavlansky, win a championship after decades of knocking on that door, after decades of building their program and banging their head against the wall, I'm sure, on some nights. And it's, having thousands and thousands and thousands of kids and families within your community and impact their life positively, like these men have done. To see them win a championship, and more than that, to see them embrace between games was probably one of the most special moments I will ever take away at YSN. Very, very cool. I'm with Richie on the team captain thing, though. Like, luckily I was voted in as team captain. That was really my first chance of being a leader. That was something that you're voted in, your teammates believe in you. And you're the guy. Now, I was always the guy talking to the umpire anyway, because I was the catcher. So it just made a little bit more sense that I'm the guy with the relationship and the seat. But it's that vote of confidence from your teammates that I think, I'll say it sets you up for the rest of your life. You know, you once you're a leader, it doesn't exactly leave your DNA. So I'm big into being captain and leading people the way I think, they want to be led, not the way that I'm led, the way that they want to be led. And that's something you learn along the way.
Just FYI,
Mhm.
if in an ideal world I was able to play for one of the YSN schools and be a part of, team sports,
Yeah.
I would want I wouldn't want my school. I would want the strikeout record.
Ooh.
That's what I would want.
Ooh.
Baseball.
Strikeout record.
Yeah.
What about the strikeout record do you like so much?
I just like, I don't know. I just love the idea. Me and you, and I know Richie does too. We all love baseball.
Yeah.
And I've always just loved the idea that the pitcher controls the entire game.
Yep.
Like he just has total control over the game. So if you're a pitcher and you're dominating, I think it's one of the most impressive, especially if you're just piling up strikeout after strikeout. I think it's just one of the most impressive feats you could accomplish in sports.
Okay.
But I also think too that with baseball being that unique sport and with the team with the ball is on defense.
Mm-hmm.
So much is pitchers have to rely on your defense so much, but if you're striking guys out, you kind of take the load off of them too.
Yeah, but the higher you go, the harder it is to strike guys out. That's the trick. You got to rely a little bit more on your defense. Typically, as long as you're not in the major leagues. Major leagues, they love strikeouts.
Yep.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, in pitch counts now,
here's one for you guys.
They're gonna pile up quickly.
I've been thinking about this one. So, given that we're in basketball season now, right? Given that fall sports, we're 189 days from the time we started June 1st until Richie puts a bow on it here tonight in his interviews at Coca's. It's 189 days that we've been in fall sports. What is your favorite season of sports and why?
Oh, I grew up a baseball guy.
Sure.
Loving baseball. I think from February with Youngstown State all the way up to the conference tournament is my favorite. So
wow, okay.
That's definitely my favorite season. I have started to really love the football season. I've always put basketball over football when I was growing up in high school and, calling games early on at YSN when it was 2019. But, now that I'm 3-4 years into the football season, I'm really starting to gain a lot of interest in it. Not just because Canfield won state and you know what, but I've enjoyed the ride. I think there's a lot that goes into it that a lot of people don't understand, like our preparation throughout the week. Basketball is so fast. It's like you do a game, you're done. You do a game the next night, you're done. Football, there's that hype to it and anticipation where you're waiting all week long. And, there aren't many sports that have that same feeling like football because it's only one day a week. And I think that's what really makes it special.
Scotty?
I would agree about football, but although I will say this, when I was younger, in my high school days, even shortly after high school, baseball was my favorite. I just loved, going to watch my brother play. The sounds of baseball the ping sound,
the aluminum.
Yeah, the aluminum, and the smells of the fresh air. Just the beauty of Ysn Park. I just think Ysn is an outstanding facility. So I always loved baseball in high school, but around the time I joined YSN, which I think I joined the YSN team in 2018, I want to say.
Okay.
It was 18 or 19. As I said before, my memory gets worse by the day, but one of those years. But there was this something like that first year. The first year, this was pre-COVID, when you let me be part of the audible call, DJ. It was like being part of a frat house, but it's like we couldn't, like you didn't have to worry about like getting in trouble or anything. It was all fun. And just the Friday night lights, and like Richie said, the fact that it's once a week and so many of these games mean so much at every single game. It's hard to say that another sport is quite as they're all great. I love all sports, but you can't, especially in this area with all the great talent we've had pumping through Ohio and Pennsylvania, you can't really top it. And to be able to get to see you on Friday night after the game, when you could just kind of take that deep breath and relax a little bit, and we're just able to chat and chill, and you're not doing a million things. It's just fun to be able to hang out. Like, one of my favorite times was this past year when you filled in for Ak on the audible call.
Oh, I thought I was going to die.
And I got to sit with you at I got to sit with you right in front of the camera, and we got to enjoy some beers and just have a good time, talk about family, talk about things that were fun, things like that. Like I'll always cherish. So,
well, good, man. I'm glad you got a chance to unwind a little bit, because you usually come here and it's all strung up. We're ready to go. It's show. Richie's preparing us, like making sure that we don't sound like jackrabbits on the air.
Yeah, for sure, for certain. And it's not that, I mean, it's still like I've said this so many times, Wednesday is my favorite day of the week, but there's also that sense, like there's that saying, no matter how hard you work, there's always someone out there working harder. So I always try to make sure that, like, yeah, it's fun, and I know DJ cares about me, but he also expects me to perform in my role, even if he's not asking a great deal out of me. So I just I put a lot of effort, take a lot of pride into being prepared and delivering you, good content.
The UPS man, always delivering. Appreciate you. All right, so we're going to take a break. When we come back, plenty more on the YSN Power Hour, powered by Toyota of Warren.
21 News delivers the news as it happens, using the latest technology from where it happens. On air, online,
Wednesday afternoon weather update.
Very dangerous.
and on the 21 News social media platforms.
From
I'm on the road right now.
21 News, the Valley's only locally owned source for trusted news since 1953.
As fine as the eye can see, the finest hardwoods from the finest trees. Made for your home and within your means, Baird Brothers will help fulfill your dreams. Let life and light come shining through in quiet morns. And heavy traffic, too. Find your easy-to-afford fine hardwood floors and doors and more at BairdBrothers.com.
Every customer has a story, and at Greenwood Chevrolet, we are committed to making sure it ends with you in the right vehicle. I get to be part of somebody's adventure, whether it's buying a car for the first time, helping them get approved, or finding the perfect car for their budget. I'm proud that people trust me with their finances. They trust me to take care of them, and they trust me with their story. I'm Tracy, and I'm ready to go the extra mile for you, only at Greenwood Chevrolet.
All right, welcome back to the Ysn Power Hour, powered by our friends over at Toyota of Warren. I got this this sent to me while we were actually it's before we were on break. This is wild. Think about this, all right? You guys are familiar with Georgia football and also the Baltimore Ravens. So in 2016, Lamar Jackson wins the Heisman Trophy. Fast forward to 2022, Stetson Bennett is a Heisman finalist. They were both born in 1997.
Yeah, he's like his sixth year in college, isn't he? Isn't he like 25 years old?
Yeah, think about that.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. That's like, well, you guys probably remember it well. When the Browns they drafted Brandon Weeden out of Oklahoma State, and I think by the time the season started, his rookie year, he was like 28 or 29.
Isn't that the guy that got sacked by the American flag?
Yeah,
like they were all holding it and he got stuck under it?
He did get stuck under it.
Mm-hmm.
And that was an omen for how the season would go, because they got killed, ended up getting killed in that game and won like 4 games that year.
Let's play a game called Hey, How's It Going Over There? Hey, Scotty. Hey, how's it going over there with your awesome franchise quarterback?
He looked a little rusty, but, a win's a win, right?
Is that what you call it?
Even if it's
at 5-7, that's a win's a win? Is it okay? I mean, I've been asking this question a lot lately because I'm a Steeler fan, obviously. Is it okay to root against your team to want the draft pick? Because I find myself a little bit sitting on both sides of the fence, because the Pittsburgh Pirates went nuts on social media last night about getting the number 1 draft pick in the Major League Baseball first ever lottery draft.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting at my aunt, of all people. I love her. She's the one that is obsessed with sports. Went on the Pirates social media and just blasted them, which I was like, oh my gosh, what are you doing? Because I was going, what kind of people go on social media and go on the page and blast people? Like keyboard warriors, they are what they are. There's my aunt, clear as day, and she's racking up all kinds of likes and comments, and I'm like, oh no, sweet sassy Molassy, please no. But on the other side of that, because I don't like what the Pirates did last night, the other side of it, I'm sitting there going, man, it'd be nice for the Steelers to have, a nice draft pick. But I think, and I could be wrong here too,
there's people, I'll be honest, I haven't watched enough of them, but there's people that are already, and I hate when we do this because it is a microwave society. Like we overreact one way or the other to every little thing. This guy's the greatest thing since sliced bread. This guy's a bum, and that's what it is. But I will say, DJ, I've seen some good things. I haven't seen enough of them to form a great opinion, but there's already people sold that Kenny Pickett will be a very solid NFL quarterback for a lot of years.
I think he'll be all right, but I think he can probably use a lineman or two, and you're going to get the top tier lineman in the top of the draft. I'm going to be honest. I saw the Steelers pop up on a graphic today on the NFL Network, and it said they were in the hunt, and I about threw up.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like
what killed the Steelers and the Browns is the fact that Cincinnati beat Kansas City at home. I think
that was they really needed
for what though? Like I'm trying to comprehend this. Like I'm not rooting against the Steelers. Like I'm rooting for the future Steelers, I guess is the way I'm putting it. Because Browns fans, they would love to make the playoffs. But if you go to the playoffs and you lose in the wild card round, what does it mean?
Yeah, it doesn't really. But I will say for the Browns though, for the next, it is different for the Browns because you guys can root for losing and you can root for draft picks. The Browns don't have a first round draft pick.
Oh, the Texans are rooting for you
for the next several years. So it's like you might as well root for them to win as many games as they can, even if they don't make the playoffs. Where if you're a Steelers fan, I could see how you want them to finish, lose their last 5 and finish 5-12, maybe get a top 5 draft pick.
Yeah, I don't know where they're going to get. I mean, at one point they were picking 3rd at the beginning of the season. I was all amped up. And like I told somebody, I said, we're going to end up picking 18th, 19th, or 20th, like we always do. And we're going to miss out on some key talent, not offensive, skill players or defensive skill players. Just we need linemen. We need the uglies. And I mean, I'm talking to a couple Browns fans that I know have rooted for draft picks before, but you guys, your drafts have been horrible. Just absolutely horrible. Outside of Joe Thomas and Nick Chubb, I mean, that's really it.
Yeah.
Some of the linemen have been success drafting. That's about it. So our line's one of the best in the NFL, but our skill guys like wide receivers and quarterbacks, they have not panned out to be great.
I mean, Donovan Peoples-Jones is the best wide receiver that's on your staff right now that you brought up your own. You drafted him.
Yeah, and we got him one of the latest rounds you could get him.
Because Cooper's the best, but he was a trade. They didn't draft him.
Yeah, it's been a little bit of a whirlwind for the Browns, obviously, and trying to figure out the right combination. But the Steelers, I mean, I hate to say just lose, but just lose.
I will say this, DJ. I know it looks bad right now, and it looks like it's gonna totally blow up in the Browns' face, and they're gonna have egg all over their face. But you asked me this right when they made the trade, and I still believe this. I still would have done that deal to get Watson. Not saying I think it's gonna work out, but I still would have made the move.
Over there on our whiteboard, there's something else that you said that the Browns would win in the next 4 years because we've already got 1 year that's in the bag. How you feeling about that right now?
Not the greatest, but I got some time. I do have a little bit of time on my side.
If only nobody else got better either.
Yeah. Hey, the Bengals. What did they 2 years ago? What did they win? 5 games, and then the next year they were in the Super Bowl.
Did you ever think you'd be comparing yourself to the Bengals?
No.
We beat the Bengals every time.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
We're like the best team in the NFL when we play the Bengals.
Yeah, if they could go into if every game was on Halloween and if every week they could play the Bengals, we'd be the best team in the NFL.
Yeah, well, you know what they say about ifs and buts. So you're saying yes, it's okay to root for your team to lose, or no, it's not okay? You've been dancing around it there, Scooter.
I think it's okay. I think it's okay. I rooted those years when the Browns, when they went 1-15 and 0-16. I knew they had like no NFL level talent, so I was rooting for them to lose.
I guess there's part of me that was really jealous of Browns fans when like April comes around and you get the draft and you have the number one and everybody's talking about who it's going to be, because that can be the cornerstone of your franchise, right? Should be. First rounders should be the game changers of your franchise. And the Steelers, they get usually the 20th pick. Roethlisberger was 11. They went up and got the middle linebacker, Bush.
Yeah, he's good.
He's all right. Like he's not a game changer. At least after the injury. Before it was. Shazier was a game changer.
Yeah, he was unbelievable.
You know who I'm disappointed in? I thought he was gonna be a stud, but it just hasn't turned out that way as Deontay Johnson.
Deontay Dropson.
Yeah.
Siggy is rooting for the Bears to keep losing because that second round pick is going to be high. I want the Steelers to lose and then trade the draft pick. That's what I want. Like trade out, because I thought that would have been genius to do that. Get 2 first round draft picks next year. You know.
Yeah. Look what Miami did. With just a couple moves like that, they changed their whole franchise.
Is Tua going to live to see the end of the season? Like every time I see that dude play, he gets hurt.
Yeah, poor Tua, man.
They need to wrap him up like the kid in Little Giants.
The bubble wrap.
Bubble wrap. Giants, help us, God.
That's a great movie.
You want to wrap it up early today?
I was going to ask you one thing real quick about the Pirates' first round, number 1 overall pick.
Oh, God.
All right. So, at the new lottery style, when the Pirates getting the number 1 pick, there's so many guys to choose from. Would you rather them take a kid that is 18 years old out of Puerto Rico, or would you rather take a kid that was
you can say anything right now.
A junior in college from Alabama and was like the number 1 pitcher in all of college baseball? Would you rather take them like the young talent and bring them up, or a guy that has played in college and was like one of the best in NCAA?
I'm 90% sure, Richie, that they drafted Jamison Tyone when I was 6 years old, and I didn't see him until I was 34. Like, that's the way the Pirates do things. Now, if they did stuff like everybody else, we'd see that 18-year-old in 2 or 3 years, right? And he'd be a standout. And, baseball is so much different, though, when it comes to drafts. Like, you just don't know. And there's so much more, there's so much more of a hill to climb to get to the major leagues, as opposed to, direct translation from NFL or from college to pro in football. I like what the Pirates have been doing. I really like Ben Cherington. He's been drafting a lot of college players because he knows they have a window coming up. Yeah. And give me the dude from Alabama. Give me the guy that's ready to go in 2 years or a year, because that's what we need. We can't keep losing forever, I guess. Right, Siggy? We can't lose forever.
And even the thing is, and
oh my God, you can't. I just thought about the Browns and the Lions.
I know you've said before, DJ, which I agree with you to a certain extent. I know you said before that Indians, now the Guardians, the fan base is spoiled, which I agree with you, because we've had a pretty consistent winner just about every year, at least since Tito has showed up. But even with that, like, the guards, they kind of came out of nowhere this year. Like, nobody expected them to do much of anything. They had the youngest team in baseball, I think, by far. I think even younger than any of the minor league teams. But
What?
I'm almost positive.
Yeah, they were like the youngest team in baseball. It was like crazy how many rookies they had. Kids were so young.
So,
but
go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I'll let you close. But my closing point is, like, even when the Indians, now the Guardians, became really good, and, you know, they got to that World Series in 2016, and they were good in 17 and good in 18. Like, they had 3 years where they were one of the best teams in baseball. And then it's like you got to totally, like, blow it up again. So that's the thing that sucks about baseball too, is when you're a small market, even when you have really good players in a window, the window doesn't last that long at all.
All right, so Sigler's chiming in saying Cleveland signing Josh Bell to improve on a 92-win team. Heck of a concept. Let's not get carried away.
He's Feaster fan.
We know who Josh Bell is, Siggy. You watched him play for the same bad Pirates that I did. And you know why he hit so many home runs? Because they were already down by 30 runs in the game. So sure, let Josh Bell get his. He stinks. I shouldn't say he stinks. I don't want to be part of that microwave society that Scotty's talking about.
I think he's an average power hitter.
He's not a great first baseman. You know, he's just not. And, you know, the Pirates put him there. He was an outfielder.
I really think that the Guardians are hoping to get out of what they did in the first half of the season last year, where he hit over 300. Get a guy that could, you know, bring some pop to the lineup, but also hit for average as well. Because when you look at Cleveland's lineup, there's that one thing that they're missing, and it's that power bat, a guy that could hit home runs at a high level. But, you know, now that he's in the later stages of his career, he's over 30, I think now. I don't know if he still has that same pop that he did when he was with Pittsburgh. And I think they're just trying to get some veteran bat in the middle half of the lineup that could drive in some runs late in the year.
And don't you think, DJ, I mean, no disrespect to your Pirates. I know you say
right.
A lot of people, you know, get
it out,
crap.
Scotty. Get it out.
They give you a hard time. But don't you think, like Josh Bell, he's in a better situation now with a guy like Jose Ramirez also in the lineup than he ever
the
was
Padres
in Pittsburgh?
He was with the Padres.
But I'm saying his time in Pittsburgh, though.
Well, but yeah, Scotty, that's like, hey, do you want to go get a McDonald's cheeseburger, or you want to go over to Legends and get this beautiful steak? Like, yeah, of course you want the steak, but at the same time, he played for the Padres. They couldn't get it done with all of that.
That just shows you the significance in pitching, though. Because like everybody likes to put the focus on bats and position players. Where you win baseball championships is with your starting rotation. Because if you got a good 3 and then a 4, especially when you're playing in the AL and NLCS and the World Series, you got to win 7 games. So you got to have multiple guys throwing more than once. So
Siggy is the biggest Eeyore Pirates fan ever. Okay, Pooh. Cannot fault him for trying. Can't say I didn't have love for the Pirates. They were trying. I'm not even reading this right. Cannot say the Pirates where they are allergic to trying to win. All right, Piglet. We'll get him. All right, Bob Nuttington. We'll be back. Come on, man. Like,
should we go into our spark now?
Let's go. I hope Sigler walks through that damn door. That's what I hope. It's a Joe Dickey Electric. What's your spark? Presented by Joe Presented by Joe Diggy Electric. Visit them on the web at diggyelectric.com. Sigler. All right, Richie, go ahead.
All right. My spark today. Congratulations. First off, I want to put this out there first. Congratulations to Coach George Yates of Columbus South, Coach of the Year in Division III. With that being said,
Who?
George Yates,
Who?
Columbus South. Congratulations. Here is my problem with this Coach of the Year selection for the committee. All right. Columbus South is 8-2. They lose in the first round of the playoffs. Their combined record against opponents in the regular season was 36-58. So they did not play a tough schedule, and they still have one loss in just 9 games played out of a 10-game regular season. Now, I'm not speaking for one coach in Division III. I'm not speaking for two. I'm speaking for the 40-plus that made it past round number 1 in the playoffs, and they didn't even have a vote to become the Division III Coach of the Year. And you might be saying, oh, well, maybe this coach didn't have much talent. Maybe, he brought a team of nobodies and they were, 8-2 and had a great year. They had a first-team All-State quarterback in Damon Griffin. So you've got a first-team All-State quarterback and you lose in the first round of the playoffs. You're 8-2 and you win Coach of the Year. Somebody enlighten me here. And I'm not speaking for one coach, like I said. Not speaking for two. I'm speaking for all of them that either made it to the state or made it to the championship game. I mean, Coach McKinney for Bloom Carroll, they go from Division 4 down to Division 3, make the state championship game. They've been in state for the 3rd consecutive season in a row. And no offense to this guy. Congratulations to him. That's great to put on a resume. But you're 8-2 and you lose in the first round of the playoffs with a all-state quarterback.
You know what I was told, Rich, last night? Because
somebody enlighten me here.
You know what I was told? I was told with the biggest smile that you'll ever see in your life, doesn't matter. The guy who went 16-0 and led it, and I'll bet you when you talk to Coach Pavlansky tonight and you ask him off the air, help me out with this one. He'll say, doesn't matter. We won. We did what we went out to do. We set out to do. The two most humble dudes you'll ever meet won the championships in D5 and D3.
Yep.
And they don't care. They don't care if they never get another accolade the rest of their lives.
No, I get that. Yeah.
But I'm with you. I'm with you.
For the people outside of the program, like, of course the kids don't care because they know their coaches are the best. But for those outside of the program, like, and for those in the Valley, I just think we deserve better. Like that's just, come on. I mean, it's an 8-2 football team that lost in the first round of the playoffs.
There's a stigma that they talk about here in Northeast Ohio about how we never get any kind of the what we deserve from the accolades. And I'll be honest, dude, I didn't believe it, but I'm starting to. I'm starting to get that old man, the crotchety in me, and be like, get off my damn porch, you kids. Get out of here, you kids. Vote right. You writers. I mean, most of these dudes are just, I mean, listen, I'm going to make just a paint with a broad brush here. Most of these guys are older. Most of these guys are jaded individuals who, are using their politics to get their boys the wins. The old boys club or whatever they call
politics in Columbus. And
that's what I'm saying is just like we always talk about. Well, just like they always talk about in politics, there needs to be new blood injected. And guess what? We got the needle. Here we come.
Scotty Pimp Mincher.
That's it. The blue coat machine. What's your spark?
Before that.
Oh God.
Before that, can I guess what you meant? Were you talking about?
Well, no.
Okay.
No. We'll talk about it off the air.
All right. I think I know what you meant, though. But I guess my spark would be, I guess it would be the fact that I don't know what's going to happen the rest of the year, but I'm just happy that the Cavs showed that they can be successful and be a winning team without a guy by the name of LeBron James. It was a fun game to watch last night. I believe that was only the third win over LeBron in like
Cavs history.
20 games since, in the time that he's been an opponent, whether it was with Miami or the Lakers. Again, I'm concerned about the Cavs bench, but the starters look really good. Donovan Mitchell was great last night, 43 points. Jared Allen, phenomenal in his return. So not saying the Cavs are going to win a championship or anything that special, but I think the rest of the year is going to be a lot of fun. And sometimes it's not always about the championship. It's about the story.
What?
How you get to where you get.
Say that again. I'm going to stop you right there. Say that again. It's not always about the what?
I said sometimes. When you have a young team, you gotta. My point is, I know you're gonna jump down my throat. I get it, but you gotta walk before you run. That's all I'm saying.
It's not always about the championship. What was the back end of that?
That's a story.
Sometimes about the story. I can tell you the story if you don't win a championship. Same story I'm writing for the Steelers right now is, please God, lose. They only hand out one of those trophies every year, man. If you're not going to win it, and if you're not going to be close, I'm not saying tank, but like, go for the draft pick. Go for the draft pick. Don't be like celebratory of it, like the Pirates. Like if I see a Dexter's Laboratory meme that says, "Say it again. We got the first draft pick." What are we celebrating?
Listen, I agree. I'm championship oriented too, but it took Bendon his first year when he took over as a starter for Maddox. I believe that was the year they went 15-1.
Yep.
Everyone they didn't win it that year, but you know what? They won it a couple years later. So it doesn't always happen right away.
They should have won it that year. I know, ifs and buts. I already said it, but like they could have won it that year. Do you think right now, with what the Cavs have, they can win it?
I think they got to improve the bench. If they improve the bench, I think they can.
Okay.
If they make some moves at the deadline.
All right. So there you go. If they can win it, go for it. But if you're going to be 5-7 and talk about being in the hunt for the Super Bowl, you're fired. You're out.
I'm thinking of radar striking people out. I think that's strike 3. You're out, mother sucker.
He said it was an S. Sucker.
Yeah.
Sucker. You're going to get me in trouble.
It was sucker. I should enunciate better.
You're going to get me in trouble, Mr. Mincher.
We better get out of here.
Yeah, it's gonna be fillet of fish time real soon. My spark is last night celebrating South Range and Legends, man. That was as cool as the other side of the pillow. That was so awesome. Those kids deserved it. Those coaches deserved it. They had a cake for us. Dan Yeagley was inducted as the first legend. So he will live there forever on the wall. Picture him, picture of the kids. And also, there's now a sandwich named the Yeagley Cheesesteak at Legends. You need to get it. The Coach Yeagley Cheesesteak. So officially, we have a legend amongst us at YSN. That is going to do it for us here on YSN. Scotty, I would ask if you have anything else to say, but you've said enough today with your stuff. What's up, Rich?
I said, yeah, he's done.
You're cut off. You weren't even drinking. Any last words, Rich?
Nope.
All right, let's get out of here. We'll see you tomorrow, 3 to 4, right here on the network. Peace. YSN thanks you for watching this presentation of Your Sports Network. For stories, stats, and more,